Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack on Productions. Today we have our Heat 1, which in case you're curious is a game between both me and Austin, where I'm playing the promo Son Gohan leader, and he's playing...
Cell Surge.
Yeah. So if you enjoy the content and appreciate what we do here, hit those buttons because you probably have a button fetish like Jimmy, is that right?
I want my name to be Spaghetti.
Like Biscotti. And so today I'm being joined by... oh my god, Spaghetti, Jake, Austin, and like always, Fluff.
Howdy.
What's going on, y'all?
I keep saying the word Pescetti and I don't know how to fix it.
And I just realized the video never played for some reason. I don't know why.
Just start it now. Just start it now. We're not doing the intro.
Oh, it stopped halfway through.
So just start it. Just keep
the
going.
intro over the. We'll do it live.
And we're just gonna. There we go. It's playing all of a sudden. That's weird. Just never started. I don't know what happened there.
Whoa.
The intro was too good to get rid of. So it's been 30 seconds. Fuck. That was awesome of an intro. But yeah. So this was an interesting game. I knew what to expect. I've only played against a Cell Surge deck once, and I think that was the one that Jimmy made.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. That's correct.
And it was back when we were testing more out with Gotenks before I completely got bored with Gotenks. But
You got bored of Gotenks? Got bored of coming to the shop and winning every week?
well, we've been over this, and
Yeah, we have been over this, haven't we?
if you're a fan of Gotenks, great. I love Gotenks. Here's the problem: it plays itself, and you don't really have to think much about it, and that boards me. And I hope that doesn't offend anyone, but it does. Like I think Jordan, like we talked to Jordan after he played it last week, a week before. He
He was like, "This isn't fun."
Dude, the dude shows up like first time in like 2 months maybe. Shows up first deck he plays. He's like, I want to play Gotenks. I'm a little out of practice, and then just gets second place with it.
Yeah.
So
Also, real quick, speaking of thinking, that was very hard this match.
yeah, you were having a migraine, I think.
Yeah, I had just come back in from like a weird migraine of a day where I was late about 20 minutes to the shop.
Yeah,
And I had like forgotten most things I was trying to do that day. It was a bad headache.
we might be able to point a few things out as this game progresses. Sorry, this heat progresses.
It's a mess. Like I told Bancroft, like I can't remember if it was Bancroft or Jake, but you know those little cartoon bubbles of like all the little spool of yarn and like a little thought bubble? That was literally my brain that entire day at the shop.
Ouch.
So you your turn one was just, you did the basic Cell Surge thing where you search top 5 cards. I can't remember, you get to discard a card first or afterwards?
You look top 5, pick a card, then discard.
Okay. And then so for my turn, I swing, get the burst, get a Kai off that, which is always a nice to get. It's the only card I play that's like that.
I think
Kai's
that's
too good.
appropriate.
Oh yeah, I mean, like especially against a deck that will. Do I combo that because I want? Yes, okay. I had an overwhelm in my hand. I was trying to figure out why did I combo that off so early. Hey, look, there's another one. That is awesome. Forgot about that.
So Seth had shown me his Gohan deck, and he was running the Trunks and the Vegeta from the same starter deck as the Kai. And I was like, dude, like, why are you running so many of those? I was like, you don't burst on the backside, and you don't like mill. I was like, so basically over half the game for you, you're running basically 6 to 8 cards that don't do anything for you. The Kai doesn't have to be on the field to be good. The Trunks and the Vegeta.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
There's just a ton of value in those cards that it's hard not to run in a black deck that can run them.
Yeah.
But I do agree in this particular deck, I feel like Gohan either needs to go on the control route or the aggro route. And staying on the front side on both of those routes is not a very good option.
So right there, real quick, I had gotten this Cells out of Secret Rare.
We saw it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and no, it's just that's happened every game, like turn 2 or something. I had to like pretend I'm not excited. I'm like, which card do I need to pick?
I will say, because I've played against this deck and I know the idea of you practically playing the Cell and the 17 from the drop, even the 18. That's why I went ahead and played Black Massane first instead of the Unison, because I wanted to start that early. Didn't want you to start trying to get a board against me or anything like that. I knew you were obviously going to take your time to get to Xeno Cell.
And the funniest thing is, because I was so frustrated and confused when you did that because of the migraine, it actually made me play much better and realize the most optimal way to play the deck.
You're
as I
welcome.
was playing against you this first match. Because I told Jimmy like halfway through, I was like, oh wait, I can do this. And that's how I started playing that match. It was such a mess for me. I was so frustrated.
I was having a stress-induced migraine of my own while this match was going on, and I was watching this match. I was sitting right next to Austin, and every move Austin made, I was like, bro, like, what the hell are you doing? And then you kept looking over at me going, I got this. I'm like, bro, what in the hell? Like, chill out. Like, damn, bro. Like, but it was working out for you. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know either.
You were making like the most unoptimal plays, and I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, how are you doing this?
I don't know how this game worked at all. The way
I was looking at Bancroft's build, and I seen BMS on build, and I was like, okay, well, Bancroft won. Like, he literally just has to keep that. It's like, he probably has Shocking Death Ball. He can remove it, but I know Bancroft's good enough to keep another BMS in hand for that occasion. And it still, like, Austin played around it so well, even with the migraine.
So I will say, that was my... I was waiting for that at any given moment for Shocking Death Ball, just to boom. And I can't remember how many attacks I get in. You do eventually get a hold of one. Even regardless of you letting me hit you or not early on. It was just fun. I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't play. Like, I got to the point where I'm like, maybe he doesn't play them? I was a little confused.
Oh no, I only play 2 in the deck just for removal for stuff like that. And I thought about adding more. Gosh, that Cell SR looks so much like the SCR, and I was like, did I just combo the SCR?
That was a misplay. Unless it says up to. I can't remember if it says up to or not all of a sudden. The Vegeta, I played the other the 3-drop Vegeta again. If I'm correct, when played, you're supposed to mill top.
It's up to.
Is it up to? Okay, then I decided not to do it because I knew how this deck was going to be, and I didn't want to potentially mill myself out, I think. I forgot that you don't really burst on the front side of the leader, so.
Yeah, that card is just so much value, that Vegeta. It's a free Overwhelm critical that also refills your drop area.
Yeah.
And especially in decks like Gohan, where you're cycling cards from your warp back to your drop area, sometimes you want to be able to mill more cards and have more cards in that rotation.
Yeah.
That card is just so good, especially when the Trunks Elite Descendant used to be able to grab it, but I mean, it still can grab it, but you can only have one of those in your deck now after the limit.
Yeah.
But it was just such a good target off of that, like so much value off of that one card.
And
Right
here,
here
you're paying 1 energy, I think, to crit a life and draw a card, I think.
Nope, you don't pay any energy. It's activate. You draw a card and take up to 1 life and put it to your hand. So we were both reading it because I'm already kind of iffy at explaining things. And with that migraine, it's even worse. I was like reading, like, hey, just read it.
So here you play medical. I'm like, okay, here comes the aggro field. And you remind me that you have to have a mono green leader. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
This was another situation of I was looking over at his board and I was waiting for the token to hit the field, and my judge instincts were like boiling, being like, hey bro, you can't do that, chief. And then he started explaining it and I was like, that's fucking ingenious. Like, that's such a good idea in this deck.
So, dude, Austin and I played a friendly game after the tournament ended, and because we hadn't gotten to play for a while, and he boards that, and I was like, yeah, go on ahead, make your token, put on some pressure, and he's like, yeah, haha, it has to be a mono green leader. Joke's on you, I'm running an inefficient card. And I was like, okay.
I literally just, because you want to discard cards anyways with this deck, so it gives you a little extra discard. It gives you +2 to card draw. It really helps the leader get more card draw. Like,
it was ingenious. Like
when I first saw Metacooler, that I was like, I want this for Cell Surge, but I didn't like enough cards for Cell Surge. Then literally after this, I was like, you know what? Also, little backstory too. I had forgotten like half my cards at my house, so I had to borrow so many cards from people at the shop tonight that night. But yeah, I had really wanted to use Metacooler for this leader for so long because it really helps the awaken side. Because usually you're just dead after you awaken. You're like, all right, well, I gotta help my top deck because you only have 2 turns to do anything.
That was the biggest issue with Cell Surge when that set dropped, is you kind of had to have the draw monkeys for the deck. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you just did not draw anything, and you just had to hope for God Hand the entire game.
It really is one of the few decks that, like, if I were to ever run 4 Draw Apes, it's Cell Surge.
I think that was one of the main reasons that Draw Monkey was so expensive at the time, was because of Cell Surge. Because I think Eggman topped with it, a couple other people topped with it, and they all ran 4 monkeys because of that. And
it was incredibly popular before and after the rules clarification on the 3-drop cell too.
That's just, I also don't own any of those monkey apes, and I'm not ever going to buy them. So I was like, alrighty, what cards can I use to help card draw that aren't monkey apes?
Yeah, I think the 9-drop cell as well as Metacooler in this deck kind of alleviate that. I kind of almost think that this is more optimal to run the cooler and the 9-drop over the draw monkeys.
Absolutely. You get so much more value out of it.
You get reoccurring value with the Metacooler, and the 9-drop cell can be used as a successor target later in the game.
Yep, and also it's free 1 draw and take a life. So it helps you if you're not getting hit. You don't need self-awakeners. You don't need to like put those on the board and try to be a little more aggressive. It allows you to play the game the way you want to. And as we're talking about this, the whole process of this, I was trying to figure out. So I wasn't intentionally swinging Bancroft. Like, I wanted to swing, but my brain just kept not doing it.
Well, actually, but that's the smart way of doing it, because
I know, like, it's what cracked me up. I was like, my brain wasn't working, so I kept getting frustrated. I kept forgetting to swing, but I wasn't going to say, wait, hold up. I'm like, no, it's my migraine. I'm just going to take it, not swing it. If I lose, I lose. It was me playing terribly. But eventually, it played out, like, preferably. Yeah. And it just cracked me up that happened, because I was so confused after the game ended.
So, a little backstory for this turn. The great thing about Cell Surge going first is if you awaken on turn 3, you're practically guaranteed to get your real engine going, what you want by turn 5. Because you get rid of a card, you cause me not to, any battle card I play is played in rest mode. So that's why I was like, all right, I'm going to Swing of Leader, Kraken Space, Kai. I want to add pressure. I want to get this double strike to hit you, because I can't play any battle cards because they won't be either they're overwhelmed or they're not going to they're going to be in rest mode.
Yeah.
And you comboed out. As you also, I did have to remind you, hey, it's actually, I think it was like 45 potentially, or 40 or whatever. So you add the extra card there.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
what happened. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I think I had a chop on my hand. I'm like, cool, I'll just swing with the Unison, and you shocking death ball and got rid of my Black Mesa, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, because my brother Seth, he plays so many black decks, and I played Cell Surge against him a whole lot and just like friendly stuff at home. Yeah. I was so used to being like knowing how the Cell Surge part, where you just that all cards come in rest when they play, just really destroys Overwhelm.
Yeah,
because it's only there for 1 turn. The whole effect is when it attacks or does something that's played, does a lot of cool stuff, and it gives you a lot of cool aggressive options. But it really this deck really messes with Overwhelm.
And see, this is the I mentioned this in obviously we're recording things out of order, because I mentioned this during mine and Fluff's duel. If we were playing a best 2 of 3, this is a matchup I would have sided into Demigrals in for Dark Overwhelm.
I feel like a lot of your matchups this night was very unfortunate in that they tend to be more control decks.
Yeah, they were.
And you're playing a very aggressive version of this Gohan build. and I felt like if you played against, like a more mid-range, maybe another aggro deck, you would have absolutely rolled them. But then you sat down every time. It's like Cell Surge, Topo Lock. I forgot what you played in the last round.
I played
but
Dark
still,
Bro in the last round.
Yeah, so another control deck, which people don't like. People don't like to accept it, but Dark Bro is a control deck. Don't fight me.
It's not recorded, but I won that one. I went 1-2 that night.
One thing that I had, because I made a deck before with when set 7 came out, which was Burn Hanino with red green, and I never ran any red green multicolor like the Checkland Broly's because stuff like this, where I always hated it coming into rest mode. This deck reminded me of that when I was playing it, where I charge 1 red, charge 1 green, charge 1 red, and that was it. And this deck, unless I have to charge a multicolor, which it doesn't hurt too much this deck to charge multicolor. Just once, it doesn't really hurt you. I do before. I did, I think, twice in my games this weekend. But it's usually the turn is green, 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 yellow, because you want that you have the 3 green for meta cooler, and then you want the yellow for your 9-drop. This one, in this build, I only had the 9-drop cell, the successor cell. But in the new build, I have the 9-drop Super 17 also. Yeah. So you need it for that as well. And while Super 17 is 3 energy, 2 green, 1 yellow, it's still better, in my opinion, to run 3 green first to get meta cooler out, just to help so you can awaken early and apply that pressure.
Well, one thing that you can do that you have the liberty to do with this deck is on turn 1, charge your multicolor.
Yeah.
Throw your multicolor in charge and in turn 1, let your opponent do a little bit of damage against you. Like, the only deck that I wouldn't advise doing that against is probably Dark Brawly.
I can see that.
But, charging your multicolor turn 1 makes it so you don't have to make that difficult decision later in the game.
Yeah. And the nice part, too, was even in, I did a turn 2 in a couple of my games, and it didn't hurt me regardless. It was still fine. I still have the 1 negates. I have the I have combo cards. There aren't a lot of high power combos in this, and it's still pretty responsive regardless. And you have I don't know if I play it in this one. I don't think I do, but I do run the Zarbons, the blocker Zarbons.
Yeah,
it's right there in your hand, isn't it?
I can't see there it is.
Yeah.
Speak of the devil.
So
but yeah, I run those.
Real quick, I will point out something. You're missing 1 card if I'm correct. There's a key card I'll get rid of that. It really hurt. But there was a key card you're looking for your in-game chain. You're not getting it.
Quick call out that Vegeta should have been bottom decked, but
it should have been. Yeah.
I don't think it really matters because you're still gonna have overwhelm potential.
Yeah.
Either way.
But I had 2 cards in my hand during your turn. I'm like, look, just tap your 2 energy. Just tap your 2 energy. You're just go back and forth in your hand. Eventually, you're like, okay, fine. I pressured you to do it. I mean, you were gonna do it anyways. Yeah. I was like, just get rid of my hand.
Yeah, no, because it's once again, I had the whole migraine brain. I was can't remember how to sequence. And you see here what we were talking about earlier was those 2 cells I put my energy. I never saw cells again. And I kept putting in my energy, not realizing it. I'm like, I don't have what I need to do my successor combo. Oh. And then it dawned on me, wait, I have that 1-drop android on the field, and I also have the androids you can play from the drop area, and you took the one for the drop area, but the cell Cell Zeno SR, it just requires you just have at least 1 card of battlefield and KO it.
Okay.
Yeah, and Bancroft here realizes he can't do that.
I can't do this. Cards. I didn't have a 3rd one.
That would have been the game if he had have.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't. Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. 3 energy, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. There's only 2 in there. I can't remember what the card is in my hand is right now. I can't remember if it's it's an overwhelm. Okay.
I think you do overwhelm with it. So, yeah, you do. And then so you can get the card draw real quick.
But I was hoping to get it would have been 25 combo to 30, Now it's 20. And I have to get rid of one of these 2 cards in my hand, so I got rid of the other.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I think here I just combo the rebrand, and then just combo those two.
Yeah.
And this is when I realized how much I like this deck here, this option. I didn't realize it. It all kind of came together. I was just panic playing most of this game, trying to recover from how badly I was doing, and this is kind of like, I think this is where the game ends.
This is the turn. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think you rib your hand first.
Yeah, because I have so much energy. I do this. Yeah, I KO it.
Such a stupid thing. It doesn't like. I remember this card first coming out. I remember like talking to Jimmy about it. And I'm like, wait, there doesn't matter. It can just be a 1-drop on the board and it works.
Yep.
I remember there was a lot of confusion when this card came out because people are like, "Oh, you don't have to have battle cards." I'm like, "Read the damn card. It says you gotta have battle cards."
Yeah.
And then that's when Bancroft was like, "That card is ridiculous. You just put out a 1-drop and play a 9-drop off of it."
Yeah,
And then
1 energy, bring out 18. Successor to the other cell. So now I have no hand. You triple strike.
And then triple strike, and then I play him, get rid of those 3 cards. It's quadruple strike, and he has no cards to combo with.
I'm gonna counterplay. Nope.
It's got deflect.
Yeah, that's so dirty. It's so good.
So you're like game, right? And I'm like, no, hang on. You comboing? And you're like, yeah, okay, fine. I'm like, okay, I awaken, get my 1 draw, I play Toa, and that's the game.
Yeah, this was a mess of a game, but I felt like you're trying to cheer me up because I was getting so frustrated. You're joking around. I'm just like, I just could not figure out what I was doing half the time, and that was not. I can't wait to play you again next week, just even a friendly, because when I'm not like feeling like I'm banging my head into a wall and then into a third wall.
I will say, we did play a second game afterwards, and I remember getting you to 5 life, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna stop attacking, and I forgot that 1 cell could allow you to crit a life, and I'm like, oh, okay, never mind, we're back where we were at last time.
Yeah. You don't crit a life, you just take the life.
You take a life, yeah, but
And
go on.
Sorry. I was just gonna say we played after the tournament, and like it seemed like you had a really good grasp. Like you knew what was happening with Topo Lock, and you were just like, yeah, well, if you're gonna play like this, then I'm just gonna put a Zarbon on the field every turn and make you recurrently discard cards if you want to do anything. And so like I had to play a completely different type of game against you. And I think just the more that you play it, the more you'll get used to it, the more you'll kind of like see how things flow into each other and the kind of different types of turns. Because a lot of people play like Cell Successor as kind of that linear A to B to C to D. And it really can be so much more than that.
That's how I played it at first, because I was like, I want to do thematic. I want to do, the Android 17, then to the, the Cell Android Absorber, the successor into Devourer of the Asses, the successor into the 9-drop. And it plays so much better when you don't do that.
Yeah.
It plays so much better when you have other cards, you have open energy so you can counter, and it's just so much better as a more control deck. And then you just dump everything in one round. It's so good. And it's also that deck list I had thrown together, I think, like 2 days before. And then I was so panicky. Like, it was the first time I actually playing that new list, but I was so used to playing Cell Search in general. I think that helped a lot. If it was just brand new to me, I don't think I would have done an ounce as well as I did.
And Cell really plays in a different kind of way compared to other decks. Like, there's not many decks in the game that don't have to attack to win.
Yeah.
And Cell is definitely one of the exceptions to that. You can go 5 turns without making a single attack and kill your opponent in 1 turn. So you can take from like 8 to 0 life.
And the nice thing is, too, with Cell Surge's second ability, if they have a block or anything on the field, you can KO, then discard 1 card. And if you're doing your pacing or hand control correctly, they're only going to have like 1 card in their hand anyways. Yeah. That's what kind of happens with me, besides against you most of the games. So you're free to like play your 17 Super 17 or your 9-drop Cell without the fear of getting counterplayed.
Yeah, as you're ready to play.
Yeah.
Not you are controlling the pace. As long as you can survive the turn to turn exchange, you can just win.
Yeah,
when you're ready to win.
So with all that being said, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in once again. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to click those buttons. And with that being said, we're going to go in order real quick. I know you've been the quietest so far, but Jake, you still with us?
Yeah. If you want to win, you have to practice, and sometimes you got to build new decks. And so, are you playing Cell next week, Austin?
Oh yeah.
Does that mean I get to play Cooler?
If you want to, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Austin, any last words?
No, just I always have fun with you guys. I'm happy that I found a deck because I was getting so frustrated. As I feel like I'm known as the cooler guy, anyways. So I just am happy I found a deck that I can actually do well with, and not just get my teeth stomped in.
Playmat doesn't help breaking the identity as the cooler guy.
I'll also take it. Cooler and so my favorite villain, so I'll take it.
There you go. Spaghetti?
I want my name to be Ham Banana now.
That's too late.
Between references.
Jake, if you're playing Cooler and Austin's playing Cell, do I get to play Ginyu?
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
So that means Bancroft has to play Topo Lock and Fluff plays Frieza Prison?
Ugh.
I feel like Fluff has the best bet then.
I'll take it.
And with that being said,
How do I stop saying Paschetti? Read your cards, know your plays, and like always, fluff out.